All right, let's take some time today to connect the dots between two things you're hearing a lot about these days: communication skills and omnichannel engagement in medical affairs. Now you might be thinking, aren't those two separate things? Not at all. In fact, they're inseparable. Let me explain. In medical affairs, our role is no longer just about delivering information. It's about building trust, tailoring conversations, and making an impact. And omnichannel strategies? They simply give us more tools, more touch points to do that. Email, webinars, in-person visits, digital portals, social media, even podcasts. But here's the thing: more channels mean more chances to confuse, dilute, or even contradict your message if your communication skills aren't strong. Let's make this real. Imagine you meet a KOL at a conference. You have a fantastic in-person exchange. A week later, you follow up with a scientific email. Then, maybe they attend a webinar you helped organize. Question is, does your message feel consistent across all of that? Does it carry the same clarity, tone, and intent? That's where strong communication skills come in. You need to be able to adapt your message depending on the channel, but still stay true to your core scientific story. You wouldn't present complex HEOR data the same way in a webinar as you would in a short LinkedIn update, right? Exactly. That's why being able to simplify, contextualize, and prioritize your message is critical. Now let's talk about something practical: SPAR storytelling. This is one of the most useful tools you can use to tie communication and omnichannel together. With SPAR, situation, problem, action, result, you create a story arc that's short, powerful, and repeatable. Let's say you want to highlight the value of a new real-world evidence publication. You can build a SPAR version of the story for a newsletter, another version for a slide deck, and even a tighter version for a quick verbal update during a call. Same message, different format, same impact. That's what omnichannel success looks like. Now let's go deeper. Omnichannel isn't a one-way broadcast. It's built on two-way communication. When you speak, you also need to listen. If an HCP stops reading your emails but shows up to your webinars, that's not a coincidence, it's feedback. Your ability to interpret that behavior and shift your approach, that's a communication skill. And it's not just about external communication. Omnichannel strategies only work when medical, commercial, compliance, and digital teams are all rowing in the same direction. So yes, internal communication matters too. How you align with others, how you brief your team, how you manage expectations, all of that influences the success of your external touchpoints. Here's the bottom line. Omnichannel gives you reach. Communication gives you resonance. Put them together and you build real influence. So as we move deeper into the digital transformation of medical affairs, don't just think about how many channels you're using. Ask yourself, is my message working across those channels? Am I adapting it without losing impact? Am I listening, not just broadcasting? Because in the end, it's not about the technology or the platform, it's about how well you communicate. And that starts with you. Now, let's take a real and honest look at something many decision makers are navigating and struggling with right now: the implementation of omnichannel medical engagement strategies. We've all seen different models. We've attended workshops. The strategy slide looks beautiful. Multiple touch points, personalized journeys, seamless stakeholder engagement. But then reality hits. The team is overwhelmed, the content is clunky, the channels feel disconnected, and the audience, well, they're either not responding or not even aware. So what's the missing piece? Again, it is communication skills. Because no matter how modern your platform is, how advanced your CRM tool, or how attractive your channel strategy, if your medical team can't communicate effectively across these touch points, the entire model falls apart. So, why does omnichannel success in medical affairs depend on communication skills? Let's unpack this. Reason 1. It's not about the number of channels, it's about message consistency. In medical affairs, your audience is educated, time poor, and often skeptical of commercial messaging. They don't just listen to what you say, they notice how you say it. So if your message feels inconsistent across a newsletter, a one-on-one call, and a digital congress booth, guess what? You lose trust. And once trust is gone, engagement doesn't matter. Strong communication skills, clear, consistent, evidence-based storytelling are what keep the message anchored no matter the channel. Reason 2, you're not broadcasting, you're building relationships. Medical engagement is not like promotional outreach. We're not just pushing content, we're responding to questions, we're interpreting preferences, we're understanding clinical context. And that means your MSLs, your medical managers, and even your directors need to be excellent communicators. Not just in what they say, but in how they listen, adapt, and respond. Reason 3, you are working with scientific content, not ad copy. Let's be honest. Scientific data is complex. Real-world evidence isn't easily compressed into a tweet. And compliance restrictions? They're real and often limiting. So to succeed in omnichannel medical engagement, your team must master translational communication, turning scientific content into audience-ready formats without losing integrity or crossing compliance lines. And trust me, that's a skill, not a button on a platform. This brings me to another important topic that is not widely discussed. Is there a difference between omnichannel marketing and omnichannel engagements in medical affairs? So, let's address the elephant in the room. How is omnichannel in medical affairs different from omnichannel marketing? Many omnichannel strategies come from commercial playbooks, and while some principles carry over, like personalization, sequencing, channel preference, the rules are different. Let me explain why. 1. Your role in maintaining compliance. In marketing, you have more flexibility. You can run A/B tests on subject lines, use persuasive language, tap into emotion. In medical affairs, everything must be fair, balanced, non-promotional, and scientifically grounded. One wrong phrase in an email can lead to an escalation. One LinkedIn post can spark a compliance review. That's why your medical team needs precision in communication to stay impactful while staying compliant. 2. Resources are often more limited. Let's talk capacity. Commercial teams often have dedicated omnichannel agencies, budgets for segmentation, tech stacks for automation. Medical affairs? We're working with smaller teams, tighter budgets, limited bandwidth, and more scrutiny, which means your communication skills must do more heavy lifting. You have to say more with less, deliver value without overwhelming, educate without sounding robotic. That's a unique challenge that marketers don't always face. 3. Bridging the science-social media gap. Here's a big one. Scientific content doesn't always fit naturally into digital channels, especially social channels. Medical affairs teams need to translate technical data into digestible insights, suitable for HCP portals, private platforms, webinars, or even short-form videos, without dumbing it down or sensationalizing it. That balance? It takes advanced communication skills, empathy, and real understanding of your audience. And while marketing might succeed with engagement metrics, we succeed through credibility. 4. The objective is different. Marketing wants sales. Medical wants trust, insight, and improved patient outcomes. So we can't use the same tactics or expect the same results. That's why what works in omnichannel marketing might actually fail in omnichannel medical, unless it's reframed rewritten, and recommunicated for a medical purpose. So, before we jump into a decision to implement omnichannel medical engagements, we need to be clear on something. What defines success in omnichannel medical engagement? Let's be clear. Success here isn't flashy dashboards. It's not reach alone. It's whether your KOLs feel heard, your content is scientifically accurate and accessible, your team can communicate across formats, and your story is consistent, from field call to email to webinar. The real drivers of success include message clarity and integrity, compliance-sensitive storytelling, adaptation to channel constraints, active listening and feedback, and coordination across medical, digital, and regulatory functions. These aren't always critical in commercial omnichannel, but in medical, they're everything. What about the risks of implementing omnichannel medical engagement strategy when you are not fully ready? Now let's not sugarcoat it. Implementing omnichannel medical strategies comes with risks. It takes time and effort to train teams. It demands content that works in modular formats. It requires change management. And yes, it needs investment. But here's the mistake some teams make. They think they have to go all in right away. That unless it's fully automated and flawlessly executed, it's not worth doing. That's simply not true. Start small, but start. Here's the truth. Doing part of it well is better than not starting at all. You don't need 5 channels. Start with 2. You don't need weekly webinars. Start with quarterly high-quality sessions. You don't need a full journey map. Start by improving one touch point. Your scientific email templates, your post-congress summaries, your MSL follow-ups. Each of these is a building block. And the more you build, the more you learn. But you can't develop communication fluency in omnichannel environments by sitting still. You learn by doing, by testing, by listening, by adapting. So if you're part of a medical affairs team, wondering whether omnichannel is worth the effort, here's my honest answer. Yes, but only if you pair it with real communication excellence. Because strategy without communication is noise. Technology without message clarity is wasted. And multiple channels without medical credibility, that's a risk you can't afford. Start where you are. Use what you have. Train your team. Elevate your message. Protect your integrity. And slowly, steadily, bring medical into the omnichannel era the right way. One meaningful message at a time. So, in order to wrap up this tutorial, let's say that whether we're talking about crafting the right message for each channel, using storytelling frameworks like SPAR, navigating compliance challenges, or simply making sure that every HCP interaction builds trust, one truth remains. The success of omnichannel medical engagement depends less on the number of channels and more on the strength of the communication behind them. It's not about shiny tech or automated journeys. It's about whether your message is clear, whether your tone is respectful, whether your team listens, adapts, and speaks with purpose. And it's about being able to simplify science without losing depth, to engage across formats without becoming robotic, to coordinate internally so that what we deliver externally actually lands. Because here's the thing, omnichannel in medical affairs is not just a project. It's a shift in how we think, communicate, and connect. It's more complex than commercial omnichannel. It's held to a higher standard. And it demands a different kind of excellence. One rooted in scientific credibility, ethical clarity, and human empathy. So as you build or refine your omnichannel strategy, don't ask, are we using enough channels? Instead ask, is our communication making every touch point count? Because that's where the real difference is made. And remember, you don't need to launch it all at once. Start small, start smart, but start with communication. because that's the foundation everything else will stand on.